Hi guys, welcome back to Asian time. So as you can see, I'm in my new setup, but today's video is going to be, as you see, the game Limbus company that's open right now on the screen. By the way, this is my streaming layout, so just beware. That's why it says band record, not Asian time. And so, based on the title, as you guys can see, Limbus Company, the gacha game that breaks boundaries. If you heard of the name Project Moon, you might know it from them being the developers of this pretty popular but niche gacha game. So this game recently finished with their second anniversary, and it's on its way to releasing its 8th chapter. So right over here, as you can see, I have all the way up to the newest event unlocked, but right over here, Kanto 7 is chapter 7. They call their chapters Kantos, by the way. So, you might have heard of Project Moon from their other games Lobotomy Corporation or Library of Runa, but if you're a main phone game player like me, Limbus Company might be your introduction to the universe like it was for me. Now, if you are a seasoned gacha game fan, you might know that usually gacha games give you in-game currency to pull for characters or weapons, but usually there is always an option to buy that currency as well, but on top of that, there's sometimes tedious daily missions to do, and it's time-consuming sometimes to really gain this currency. Here in Limbus, right over here, the currency is called Lunacy. This is all the payment options for it, and then right over here are all of the daily missions you could do. But the author, Orlando Woods, mentioned in Games and Culture during 2022 that currency can be accumulated through repetitive patterns of playing, aka grinding, and or by investing world money. And this basically reaffirms this mechanic. And so the main access to these gacha games is through your phone, but nowadays popular ones are accessible on PC. So even if you're playing a gacha game on your PC, you are still able to buy this in-game currency. It's not just like only like phone people who play on their phones can buy currency. And then usually the grinding here in Limbus is literally just doing the little missions right over here. There's daily, there's weekly, and then there's like a seasonal one. I'll get to the battle pass, which I was just showing you later on. Do not worry. And then so Limbus Company is basically, I like to say, a gacha game that isn't a gacha game. So if you are a Limbus player, you already know what I mean. You already know the story I'm about to tell you guys. That basically Project Moon created Limbus to raise fund for future games, but then they basically give us players so much currency and access to characters that you don't even need to pull majority of the time, which means you do not spend your currency, which means you're not spending money on currency. So many know that at the end of the day, gacha games are predatory if you do not have a good control of your spending. If you do not save enough in-game currency in advance and you do not pull the character that you want, you end up spending money. And most likely, if you spend money on a game, you feel more inclined to keep playing it since you already invested your hard-earned money into it. I know that probably sounds a lot like we call gambling, but a study called Addiction and Spending in Gacha Games in July 2023 says the gacha game players who purchased the loot boxes, as what the study was done on loot boxes in games, played the video games more often and were more likely to play the game for 7 or more hours per session. Now, that's a lot. But this isn't me saying stop playing gacha games and that all gacha games is bad. That is not what I'm saying. As you can see, I have invested quite a lot into Limbus Company. You see I have all like highest rarity of every character. But what I am saying is that these games make money from us players. They sell their commodities given to players, and let that be through a character gacha or a weapon banner. And then so here in Limbus, the gacha system is called Extract, and these are all the current banners. As you can see, these are all character banners. There is like low-key, like kind of like a weapon equivalent, I like to call it. It's their ego. You get that through also the same gacha, but there's not really. Actually, last gacha banner was actually an ego banner. So yeah, but to going back on track. So this is where I do come back to Limbus, is that this game does stick to a solid cast of 12 characters to pull from. When you pull from a gacha, you will be getting a guaranteed character of the 12. However, there is different card rarities. As lack for better words, I'm just going to be using cards like a standard term for all gacha and not just like the Limbus in-game terms, but if you play Limbus, you know what they are. And basically, for a lack of a better word, basically better outfits or like character art. And you basically access this all through the gacha system or by a thing Limbus does called their dispensary with character shards. You can purchase the card. So as you can see right over here in my account, I have all of the highest rarities. And then if you go here, you can see there's different rarities: 3-star, 2-star, and 1-star. And then in here, dispense, this is where you can basically purchase the cards that are from the gacha pool in the game without pulling from the gacha. And then see, usually all the 3 stars will cost 400. I do not have any shards enough to get any because I basically use all my shards already. And then to continue, now Orlando Woods in 2024 says that the proliferation of free-to-play F2P games in which players access basic content for free but have to pay money through the game to unlock new content, develop their characters, or access new features and benefits. Now, this aspect is actually different in Limbus Company because this game literally gives you nowhere to spend money to get what you want. And with the state of gacha game today, this game basically breaks the boundaries of gacha games with its gacha system and just overall game experience today. And if you're somebody who plays Limbus on your phone, your experience might be a little bit different from somebody who plays it on their PC. Right now I have the PC version up, but I do play Limbus on my phone on the go. And this does bring me to the point of, let's say you're somebody who plays Limbus on your phone. You most likely bring your phone with you everywhere, and you basically have access to the game wherever you want. If you bring your phone and you have Limbus downloaded, you have Limbus wherever you want. Meaning you can just pop into the game, play the game for a small time, like let's say your morning commute on like the bus or train, or if you're taking a break at work, you can use that time to work on your daily missions very easily. You just go to like where all the missions are at here. I mean, you can literally just skip the battle if you really want to. And then, while playing the game on your phone, you can play it when you were out with friends really quick, or you can play it at home in the comfort of your bed. If you have it on your phone, you can literally just play the game in your bed. Possibilities with Limbus on your phone is very endless compared to somebody who does it on their PC. Now, as somebody who very avidly plays Limbus on her phone, I would say it's very convenient to have the game wherever I'm at. However, there is many times where my phone screen is not that big. Like my phone screen is probably like the size of my hand. And that is not as big as my PC screen right over here. And there's many times where I wish I want to see like animations or art up close. And that does bring me to why it might be a different experience for somebody who plays Limbus on their PC. Most likely the graphics are very much better. Like, I'm gonna go right over here. Look at this card art. It is very crisp, very nice graphics. I really much appreciate seeing it on a big screen and not my phone. And it's also nice to see animations or read the story really up close. A lot of the character art, when you fully unlock it, when you get a card, there is like a little animation, and this is also the battle animation right over here. It's super nice to see this up close. I will definitely say, as somebody who's played Limbus on both phone and PC, the differences, they're not that big, but it is noticeable. And it also saves space on your phone, because this game does take a lot of space on your phone. And obviously it's not really convenient if you just like are a PC player when you're on like on the go and you're not home, you're like, oh man, I want to play Limbus. But once again, the experience is not all that different, but it's definitely not the same. Now, as a gacha game, I believe Limbus is so successful for a reason that I think many have said before if you're in the Project Moon fan base, is that they have a set of characters and they stick with them. These are the 12 set of characters, and when you redo a gacha pool, you are going to get one of these 12, no matter. And you basically grow with these characters as you go through the story, and you basically grow a sense of relatability with them. Compared to a game that's always dropping characters, you might end up getting overwhelmed. I like to say a good example is like Honkai Star Rail or Withering Waves. There's usually a new character 5-star out every patch. Sometimes like 2, sometimes 4. And it can be overwhelming. And if you do not save enough, you're gonna have to end up spending money. But I also think the uniqueness of their gacha system is also something that really much breaks boundaries. Now, if you know you play gacha games, there's like a pity system. Once you hit like a certain amount of pulls, and you're guaranteed to get that high rarity. But the thing is with Limbus is obviously there's a pity system right over here. You can get little these things, exchange, and you get to get the card if you don't end up getting it. However, usually if you have enough character shards and the card ends up adding to the dispensary, you could just get the character right from there. So you don't really need to pull in the gacha. You could just purchase these identities outside the gacha. And so you basically might be wondering, how do we get these shards? Well, one way is by getting duplicates through the gacha system. You get a duplicate of a card, you will get a shard of them. And however, I like to say a very easier way is doing your missions through the battle pass. Once again, going back to the battle pass, if you just do your missions, you'll get these boxes right over here, and you get shards, and you get to basically get the character. And that does bring me back to the payment system. Once again, is there is a free version of the battle pass right over here in the top part. On the bottom part, right over here, this is like a premium battle pass, and you basically get bonus rewards for buying the premium version of the battle pass. I want to say it's about $7.99. As you can see, I already have the battle pass purchased, but enough about me purchasing, is that you do not really need to buy the battle pass. It really just basically helps you get rewards faster. If you put in the time and effort, you will basically have the same experience with the battle pass. Obviously, there's like battle pass egos that if you spend money, but this is like a whole other thing. And basically, I would say Limbus low-key feels like a low-cost subscription-based game compared to a standard gacha, because literally if you just buy the battle pass, you basically are set for life. And if you don't buy the battle pass, you are still in a good spot with the gacha. And once again, that's not me saying you have to buy the battle pass to have better gameplay. It's just you will just have to work harder. And it doesn't take away from your experience. Like if you do not buy the battle pass, you are not having experience taken away from you. You will still have the experience. It's just you might have to grind a bit harder. And I think these specificities in the Limbus gacha system very much breaks the boundaries of a gacha game, because Limbus, it has the model of a gacha game, but with how much they give you as a game, you do not really need to spend your currency. I would say the only time you actually spend your currency is when they have their like limited like gacha system where like you actually have to like spend your currency. And that's basically it. And I would say another great thing is that Limbus is still growing as a game. There is still a lot of new things being implemented. I mean, if you're playing now, you might know that they literally just have like a daily login right now. And if you get 14 days, you get literally like a 10 pool with a guaranteed 3-star. They are very generous. And if you put the work in, you can basically be stacked like me. Do not look at my teams. My teams are not set at all. But yeah, this is it for my video on Limbus changing the gacha scene, basically breaking boundaries. And if you guys cannot tell, this video is for a grade, so that's why I was quoting a lot of stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good day, and thank you for watching Asian Time!